Again, another run from the Brazilian side.
I mean, it's another final performance, right? But I have to say I'm kind of disappointed in their T-side play on Overpass and Inferno in a sense that they were playing too passively at times. I would have expected them when, when things started going south, basically, when they were losing consecutive rounds, when they were struggling to get some map control even, just try and go as a unit and maybe try to overwhelm wherever Fnatic is being aggressive. We saw it happen on Inferno when they were actually ecoing, only had a couple of pistols, going aggressively towards Banana and managed to get kills on both Prims and Olaf, get entry to the side. It was one of the 2 rounds they won in the whole T-half.
Well, of course, they did have a good tournament, but the team that prevails once again, Fnatic, your Intel Extreme Masters World Championship. And it's going to be right here in Katowice. They win again. The president of Katowice, Marcin Krupa, giving out the medals. And guys, we can't say enough about this team.
I mean, they've just done it again, haven't they? Every single time people start to think, right, they have to lose at some point, right? Fnatic have to lose. They've gone and done it 6 events back-to-back since that roster change. And Fnatic just seem to be getting better and better. A fine wine of the CS community.
God-tier individual players throughout this lineup. Every single one having moments throughout this tournament from groups to finals. Some things that we'll probably never forget in CS history already being shown in this one very tournament by the boys on stage receiving a very deserving prize.
And we'll hear from them right now. The emotions must be high. An incredible performance. Chobra, please walk us through it.
Thank you very much. I'm standing here next to your champions of Season 10 and the Intel Extreme Masters. An honor to talk to you again, Olaf, now as the champions of this weekend. And even though you guys are undeniably the #1 team, you've won so many tournaments back-to-back, this has to be another special feeling for you guys.
Yeah, this is one of the tournaments you really want to win each year. This is like the top 3 event of the year. So, of course, we're really happy. And I don't know what to say. This is amazing.
I mean, is there anything you want to say to the crowd? They were going wild for every place you guys had, for all the great Counter-Strike that happened today. Anything you want to share with the fans here and, of course, at home?
I just want to say thank you for being so awesome. I just want to say this is the best crowd in esports for sure. It's not even a discussion.
Well said, Olaf. Well, once again, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your Season 10 Intel Extreme Masters World Champion, Fnatic!
And we've said it leading into this, if they picked up their 6th straight victory as a team, they had to be considered the best CS team of all time. I think that goes without saying. We thought when they lost Pronax, there might be a honeymoon, but it would fade. It hasn't, and now we're leading into another major where they're still the top dog.
Absolutely. It's impressive to think, going 6 titles in a row, going towards that major. That's where the $1 million on the line, and these guys seem to be getting better and better. Can they continue this form? I think it's going to be pretty hard to actually challenge them at the top. It seems like all signs are pointing in one direction. Every tournament they're coming in the group stages, looking a bit shaky, and then it comes to when it really counts in the elimination process, and they just go lights out. It's not dropping anything at all here. It's looking so strong, and a 3-0 in the grand final against what we consider now to be potentially the top 3 team in the world. It seems like people can't even take a map off them in these big game situations.
I was pretty confident at the beginning of the tournament that Fnatic will either lose here or at the major a month from now, but I have to say, if they continue with this type of performance as they show in the grand finals, at the playoffs there as well, I don't think there's a team who will be able to stop them a month from now.
That's the hard thing, and this is what we talk about, that they build into these tournaments. And you'd think by now someone would have a formula against Fnatic. And again, we saw some aggression here from Luminosity, but it's their ability to adapt and get these trades and use this timing to their advantage.
I'm so glad you used that word trade, because it just felt like no matter what map, no matter where you put them, yes, we talk about this deep map pool. Part and parcel of that is because they're a team that has no problems whatsoever in finding trades in the most dire circumstances. This buddy system that Fnatic seem to have, there was instances all over, just Inferno alone, where every single time it was played safe, there was a flash present. Every single time it just feels like they've got this synergy that is unmatched currently in competitive CS.
Well, just to highlight that point, let's throw our minds back to that moment where it was Dennis and JW left on the side. They had to hold it together on Inferno. JW expended his flash, and then Dennis, gets put into the perfect position to make the most of it. It completely blinds them. There's your 3K, and all of a sudden it's that perfect synergy coming through by these players, and that's something that you can't just work on in maybe a month. It takes a lot of time to be able to build that sort of rapport back and forth between teammates, and they certainly have it, and that team is absolutely formidable at the moment.
They showed a lot of respect to LG as well. We need to take that into account. Seeing Fnatic at that form, that kind of flick a switch and we have to be the best we can be, they definitely gave them all of the respect that they duly deserved, and a very, very good sign of things to come for Brazil.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you get a team like Fnatic that we often talk about plays with that fast, no respect style, they definitely looked hesitant early on in a lot of these situations. And again, we got to give credit where credit is due to Luminosity. It's been an amazing year. This was their debut last year at this major.
Let's remember, they actually won the group as well. They're looking like they're actually the top of Fnatic in the group. It's looking like, wow, this could be their tournament. Finally, they can take them down. They get to the grand final here. And it was an amazing final. Obviously, the cash was a little bit quiet, but we had 2 overtimes there. That's quite a rare feat in a grand final. Weren't able to close them out, but these guys definitely contending for the top team in the world right now. It's going to take a little bit more time, I think, but I think their title is coming.
I have to agree. I think it's only a matter of time, and it looks really good for them going into MLG, the $1 million major that is coming up at the end of March. The other questions, though, there is other questions from this tournament. We do kind of have to look at some of them. Astralis yesterday still not getting over that semifinal hurdle. Envious looks absolutely in tatters right now, and I think those guys going into this tournament both have some work to do.
Well, Envious, they're obviously considered maybe number 2 in the world right now, and they've dropped out of Barcelona, 5th place. They've dropped out in the groups here, and obviously they lost to teams like EFrag, but I think that's a little bit of an anomaly. I don't think we can read too much into that one. Obviously, hello.
We've got some paper airplane.
That's really well made, to be fair.
That was so accurate.
From what we heard from the social media and stuff like that, it seems like they're underprepared for some reason. I don't really understand why you'd be underprepared going into a tournament like this.
Well,
the
they
biggest
were in a villa for 2 weeks.
Well, this is the thing.
Right? Where's the under preparation?
I saw an interview with MBK, and actually he said, well, we did boot camp, yes. We took time to boot camp, and every single game we played, we felt like we got worse. I can't get my head around that. So you just decide to stop?
Always good before a tournament.
To be getting worse with every game.
Yes.
And it did carry on. I mean, you talk about that Cluj, you win a major, and then it has just been results looking worse and worse as time has gone on since then.
Well, the thing about that team as well, don't ever count them out. They've got an amazing talent pool going forward. They've obviously just picked up Maniac as well, a great tactical mind of Counter-Strike. I think they need a little bit more time. Obviously, MBK's only been calling for about 3 tournaments so far. Hasn't been the best results, but these things do take time. I still think they have a lot of work to do. A month till the major. I think they'll make a few changes, some adjustments. I have to kind of maybe do some research and look back at the demos and see what happened. But I don't discount them. They're still the current major champions, right? So you can't really ever just write them off at it.
I think they need to figure out if they want to be a major champions